and therefore it might weaken what is already established and backtrack. The Simpsons, for example, has had to retcon so many of its plots and character elements to create new conflicts that it cheapens a lot of what they were trying to achieve in the first place. That's why I'm a really big believer in making good quality art through film and animation. People can like a show or movie just for aesthetic aspects, or how it looks, for a number of reasons. And I'm not saying that's wrong, just be aware of what you like in your media. Silly movies can latch or come and go, but a film that takes its audience seriously and delivers a story in a smart way can help people connect with each other, help people cope with hardships, and generally change some lives. The show didn't need to have effort put into it, but Martin or Crew did put effort into it, which attracted a curious crowd, and here we are. I really didn't want to see the show go on forever because I feel like it would hurt the believability of its story, but the ending is still bittersweet because this has been a big part of everyone's lives. A lot of us have met so many fans and friends and even significant others of the show, and it's weird to look back and think we wouldn't be here without it. I've been pretty outspoken about my mental health hardships that have been a direct result of this fandom, but looking back, I don't know where I'd be without it. The show and this fandom have given me so many incredible opportunities, and still continues to by letting me interact with you guys after all these years. I never thought I'd be funny or talented enough to develop my own audience and make people happy in such a big way. And here we are at the end of a journey. But don't think of it like that. Think of this as a stepping stone to something different. That's helping me cope anyway.
I really treasure the time we've had together.
Me too.
And I'll never forget you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's happening?
Something that this episode reminded me of, despite all this, is I'm just so glad that Discord has been the character I always wanted him to. My muse, my flame. He messes up, but on the inside he has such a pure heart. It makes me root for his character all the more. Even though he kind of messes up majorly here, and there are echoes of Twilight's Kingdom, the biggest difference is that he's genuinely trying to do something nice and productive. He just really screws it up, like, really badly.
Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it! Fix it, fix it, fix it!
Discord's character progression have always been on the not as good as I would like scale. He has fantastic episodes like Make New Friends or Dungeons and Discords, which do a great job of highlighting his insecurities and how he overcomes them. In general, I think over the course of the series, he's used too much as a tool for starting conflict. And because of that, it's hard to tell whether he's genuinely causing problems just to be a butthole, or trying to help and screwing hardcore because that's part of his nature. The best example I could give of him being a genuine little bean is in Discord and Harmony, where these insecurities are a major player in his decision-making. Then we have episodes like Matter of Principles and What About Discord, which make him look like he hasn't learned anything.
I didn't learn anything!
That makes it hard for people like me to have his character be used for his fullest and realized potential and make him look like a jerk if people can't psychoanalyze him. I guess that's why I'm here. His overall character development should have been easier to track instead of him just being a plot tool when it's fitting. This episode, though rather late, really shows him clearly on the side of good and working with the princesses to help neutralize a threat. Yay. What's the use of having this powerful being if you're just gonna write him out of episodes? Or the movie? I feel like that's the biggest loss of potential, man. Speaking of lost potential, the series I feel in general is too worried about isolating viewers if they don't focus on the main six for the majority of the time. Aspects and characters to explore like Celestine Luna, Discord himself, and others would have been great episodes, but we have a bunch of main six episodes instead. Just some food for thought. For a show that didn't know how it was going to end, I think they did a pretty good job with keeping the scale growing bigger and bigger, and in general keeping Twilight's story arc expanding. But you can tell when the show got renewed and the writers were like, oh, now what? It's mostly at the end of season 3 and season 4. Anyway, I'll stop stalling. We'll just go into the episode and analyze some stuff. We start off at Camelot Castle, where Chrysalis in disguise is trying to spread mistrust all around the place. Cut back to the Lair of Doom, where the main villains are contemplating how they're going to take over, but it looks like the bell had already some magic in it. That works, they're going to steal even more. Gerger comes back and he was Discord the whole time! And on hindsight, this makes some sense. I mean, except for people holding out that he was actually the real Grogar. Those poor people. If the real Grogar was actually gonna come back by now, then he probably would've, right? There goes all your Discord and Grogar dad theories. I threw him on the ground. Comparing his behavior in the opening and even in Frenemies, he is hesitant about something, and he also kind of looks like Discord with the eyes and the beard. He finally has a goat head. I don't know what Discord's head is actually shaped like. It's definitely not a goat or a pony. But it is a really creative way to solve the whole Discord can't solve all your problems all the time, while still showing that Discord cares in his own way. This was a pretty important plot point that the movie kind of danced around a little bit by just writing Discord out of the script, but the show can only ignore it for so long. This was a good way to do that. He is pretty insistent on having everyone work together. It seems like something's up.
So what's the tip?
I like it. Even when the show is ending, it's like, have some bonus Discord to analyze. Yay, show. Thanks, Nicole. You see what you did there. I was actually talking to Nicole in real life like 6 months ago, and I asked her about the opener, and she was smart and answered my question while also dancing around it. Well played, Nicole. Well played. Meanwhile, Twilight is getting ready for her second coronation. Didn't she already get core-lined? I'm surprised no one ever mentioned that, like, at all. If I just marathon the series, then I'd be confused. Like, very confused. So the horses are getting ready for another special event in Camelot, but everyone seems to be acting weird. They must be running low on alcohol and caffeine. The horror! Someone get KP her Coke Zero. I can't fangirl when I'm tired. Speaking of fangirling, Discord shows up. He's like the only character that matters.
And nothing else matters.
After walking back from Timbuktu, he admits that the whole Drogar thing is kinda his fault, as a way to test Twilight and give her confidence. Or enough to roller coaster you, at least. One of those situations where you're like, I got it, and now he's like, I don't got it.
I get it.
Let me just point out that Celestia, of all characters, is super duper mad. Oh, Celestia, you hypocrite. You've done this multiple times, like a lot of times.
My dear Twilight, there is more to a young pony's life than studying. So I'm sending you to supervise the preparations for the Summer Sun celebration in this year's location, Ponyville. Make some friends!
Come on, girls. Princess Celestia always has a lot of need of you.
My dearest Twilight, you must come to Canterlot at once.
Dear Twilight Sparkle, the spell contained on the last page of this book is Starseal the Bearded's secret, unfinished masterpiece. He was never able to get it right, and thus abandoned it. However, the only one who can understand and rewrite it, Princess Celestia.
Why me? We do not believe that Tyrek is aware that a fourth Alicorn princess exists in Equestria. If we transfer our magic to you, Tyrek will not murder us. We have fond memories of our old teacher. We could discover what happened to him. We would be most grateful.
Because of your efforts, there's less and less for us to do.
So, after much consideration, my sister and I have decided it is time for us to return.
Will it be someone tall, dark, and handsome? Or will it be the Lord of Chaos? Oh, fine. Go with the obvious choice.
Heck, Discord is even on site with Sombra to make sure nothing goes wrong. I don't know what Celestia was doing all those times she sent Twilight on a test.
Go home, watch TV.
So although Discord is a little careless in this case, and the general story has beats back to Twilight's Kingdom, which I already mentioned, the biggest difference here is Discord's intentions. I wish he would have been a little bit more careful with Tyrek, though. He's proven to not be that trustworthy. Extra points for John imitating the other villains. That was fun. I enjoyed.
Let the fool go. Without magic, he's no threat. The A6 is so busy being they haven't even noticed what we've been up to. Have I mentioned how great revenge is? Oh, I hope you got a name picked out for your future kingdom, because it's time to destroy Equestria.
So, to our battle stations. Twilight orders the pillars to guard Camelot in the meantime, and tells everyone to be on guard. There's also this giant cozy glow that doesn't go anywhere, so no chaos magic for now. So the villains invade stuff. Cozy invades Camelot, which is silly, I think, because she's just one alicorn versus 3 alicorns plus a bunch of other ponies. And Discord with no powers can't really do anything, so he's just there. Well, the earthbending Kira pretty quickly takes on the pillars. Man, this episode has a lot of characters to balance. Starlight faces Chrysalis, which at first is awesome. Then there's this big explosion scene, and it looks like there will be worlds in Starlight's favor, but alas. It turns out the explosion is on Chrysalis's side. Man, that would have been cool if they just ended the episode there. The villains eventually make their way back to Camelot. And even though Cozy is being defeated on 10 versus 1, plus the guards, Discord can't really do anything since he doesn't have any powers, so he's hiding behind the throne. Everyone here is trying to be helpful.
Fly, my pretties!
Even Spike. Chrysalis and Tyrek show up to jump in, and then things kind of turn to crap. I, for one, am glad Discord is really being included in the action here, which is something I wanted for a while, and you can tell just how horrible he feels about all this. My poor Babu. And they all try and tell Twilight to get out of Dodge.
We interrupt this Blue Horse video to bring you a special word from our sponsors. So after 9 full years, the My Little Pony Generation 4 show has finally come to an end. So, what are you planning to do with your life now? Well, that sounds depressing. Instead of that, how about we try some other fun ideas? You could get a hobby. Well, that didn't go as planned. Maybe try this one. Maybe try this one. No more. How about talking to girls?
Yeah, girl?
You know, a member of the opposite gender. No, not that one. Well, try joining another fandom?
That sounds like a good idea. Oh, I'm drawing some fan art of Sonic. I'm so out of the forum. Touch my arm.
I give up. Do you have any ideas?
What the pony said? Twilight's friendship.
Okay, that doesn't seem like a bad idea.
Friendship.
Wait, where are you going?
Oh, you guys are my best friends.
So cut back to the evil hive of evil, where those stone shards that cancel out magic come in handy for the villains. Side note, I think off-screen they blasted Discord around. He's at the point where he can barely walk, and if you notice, he has a hard time picking himself up. I am dying. Where are the band-aids? I need them for my heart. They're so mean to him.
Why are you so mean to me?
Discord then apologizes for all this in a genuine way. You can hear it in his voice that he really feels bad about all this. In a situation where he thought he had control, turns out he didn't. I mean, I get that he should have been a little bit more careful with Tyrek, and I kind of understand what he was trying to do. Remember when I said when you peel back Discord's layers of self-confidence, you get real, genuine Discord? Discord always has been a character that popular to contrary belief, and I think despite his outward appearance, has a lot of internal struggles. While this moment in the history is meant to highlight that, and his character growth as a whole, I mean, Discord has been characterized pretty inconsistently if you think about it. His strongest episodes either have him act selfless, or unaware of how he deals with social pressures, and using his ego as a coping mechanism to deal with his insecurities. He even does it in this episode.
You've been setting up challenges for us the whole time, haven't you? None of our successes were actually real.
Of course they were. You just had an extremely good-looking safety.
It's there. There it is. And that's the thing. That's not really a character arc or growth. I mean, it kind of is, as slowly he gets more genuine with his actions and less of a jerk, but I just wish we had more clarity with this whole progression instead of just key moments. It doesn't help that he's only in the show like 2 to 3 times a season. This whole story arc also highlights just how he cares for the other horses, especially Twilight.
And spare, my friend.
Everyone is so over-focused about the flutter cord, yo. His way of making it up to the others helps this, where the opinions are either sacrificing himself in order to allow the others to escape, or basically risk that by pulling your dad burn on Kirek in order to anger him and provoke a response.
Yo, Daddy's so bald. Mr. Clean got jealous.
Yay, comic continuity. I wonder what this says about Tirek's character. I mean, that obviously triggered a response. I guess Tirek is just trying to prove himself to his father and, you know, on his terms where he doesn't be nice to anyone. Anyway, the second one kind of works, and at least gets the main voice. Discord stays behind to throw some rocks. Yay, rocks. So I figure if Discord is gonna sacrifice himself again, I say again because in the season opener, Discord grits his teeth when taking the metaphorical shot. If he knew he'd probably be fine, he wouldn't have done that. So I don't know about you, but I consider that pretty even. Meanwhile, the rest of the main five try to find Twilight, and in the midst of that, realize the ponies are divided by racism wherever they go. They eventually find Twilight in the Crystal Empire, basically trying to figure out how to save the day. She complains that even with all the efforts to establish a school and teach friendship, nothing matters because everyone's still divided and things are just going to crap, and she's out of ideas. Then things get worse.
Haven't we learned never to say that by now?
I mean, the villains did have a decently easy time spreading racist rumors around, but Twilight still's got her friends, and they decide to help. Aw, the horses are so cute. I love them. This is also a great moment that highlights the sincerity of the show. Magic can't fix stuff all the time.
What are we gonna do, Twilight? The same thing we do every time, Pinky. Try to save the world.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. So the battle for Horseland is a go-go. It's epic, but it doesn't really go so well. Chrysalis is gonna tear off Spike's wings. That's harsh. But it turns out that everyone ever, even the characters from the subpar movie, are here to help save the day, proving that Twilight and her goals were not for naught. The School 6 used their lessons to unite the horses and the other populations. With this, and the fact that Twilight was making a difference the whole time, we used that to tie everything together, and there's a lot to tie in. They did a good job. Consider that when viewing the episode. It's also adorable how Discord doesn't think he's gonna be summoned because of how badly he screwed up, and how no one will love him anymore except me, but Twilight still loves him. Does my sweet boy.
And so for the very first time, the day is saved. Thanks to
everyone ever. So everyone gets their magic back, even though we have a side delay with Pinky. Good callback to the comics. And everything turns to normal, except everyone gets stoned. Discord helps. Some are pointing out that this is a little hypocritical, but what seems to have happened is that Discord has had time to reflect on his punishment, and maybe thought it was more fitting and less cruel than he seemed originally.
because I don't turn ponies into stone.
After all, Celestia did let him get reformed. She's been one of his biggest supporters for a while. And then everyone gets low, including Discord. Aw.
Yeah.
Then the horses get some donuts and chill. No Netflix, though. Cut to the future. The epilogue cuts to roughly 20 years in the future, where Celestia Twilight is giving advice to a rando. Or possibly Starlight and Starburst's child, we're not sure. Also, I don't know what the future holds, but I don't want those baggy eyes. None of the parent ponies have them. Why couldn't they just get new hairstyles? I don't understand.
All your eyes desire, all in one jar. New Olay Eyes Ultimate Eye Cream.
Ew. Flashback to Twilight, who's afraid that her friendships are gonna fade because she's moving on and everyone's staying there. And it's sad. Her friends don't really seem concerned. Change is natural after all, until it gets hard. And I think the lesson is sweet because it's really realistic, you know, because the show is ending and it will be hard for people to unite because there's no more conventions or there's very few and, oh god, feels. And no one really has time to discuss it because we're late for a very important date.
No time to say hello, goodbye, I'm late.
This basically causes a bunch of disasters, which lead to...
Waving to the crowd and... Oh.
Best coronation ever. But Twilight doesn't get upset because she's Twilight and she's just happy that she has her friends with her. Aw, it's cute. We cut back to, oh my god, Fluttercord is not a thing! Thank you, Lord.
Are you sure about that?
Okay, let's talk about this, because I know some of you in the comments are going to be like, what are you talking about, KP? You're in denial. They live together. My interpretation is that Discord helps Fluttershy run the animal sanctuary. Hear me out. Ever since Celestial Advice, and probably for longer now that I think about it, it's pretty much stated that Discord is both lacking purpose and is kind of lonely. He spends the whole episode trying to convince Twilight that Starlight should be his roommate. I don't think Discord and Starlight are doing anything, so it's most likely platonic. So regardless if Fluttershy is rooming with them, him helping out with the Sanctuary on a more regular basis solves both these problems. Fluttershy can just be getting a ride from Discord, man. He's going somewhere else.
Discord's headed to an O&O convention where he'd be joining us.
How I see canon is that it's either stated in the show or confirmed by the creators to be their solid intention, and that makes the canon. Here, it's just left ambiguous about what exactly happened, which I prefer. Same thing with Applejack and Rainbow Dash. Like, I get it, they're alike, but when was this hinted at to be a romantic relationship, like, at all? When? What does it mean to make Rainbow Dash actually gay? Build it up, man! The only thing that's explicitly canon is she's high because they have a child. I wasn't expecting that, but it's fine, I'm cool with that. I like how there's a moment where she's like, come with me, and it totally can be interpreted as shipping, and it's great, and I ship it. Makes sense, you? Someone has to have a kid. There's also the problem that this episode highlights, that Fluttershy being clearly mortal when Discord isn't. How is that gonna work exactly? Actually, how is any of this gonna work? If Twilight's not gonna outlive her friends, why is she a super alicorn when her friends are visibly aging? I mean, Granny Smith and Golden Delicious are both implied to be dead, so maybe? Will Celestia and Luna ever die? Will the rest of the main six become immortal? Did someone think about this or what? I mean, it's clearly implied that Twilight will have her own successor, this being the Celestial Dawn Horse or the School Six or someone, which leaves the question that maybe she'll age like the rest of them, or choose death at a later time, or something. It's nice that they tried to incorporate Lauren's original vision of the elements of disharmony controlled by Discord, and then Celestia dies, and then Twilight becomes an alicorn and replaces her, but we need to think about what these things imply before just doing it, guys. How I see Discord's future is that through Fluttershy and the rest of the ponies, he'll learn more and more about friendship until, when their time is up, Celestia comforts them and asks about what he's learned, and they have an existential conversation about what both their purposes are, how to slowly keep on making the world safe for future generations, and maybe Twilight is there or not. I know that Discord and Celestia's relationship is even as expensive as the development, but consider more of the romantic gestures that Flower giving in Facebook. I know that was forever ago, but it's much time. That's not how it works, guys. I'm not saying anything is there, but we gotta consider all the factors. Celestia's gotta like Discord on some level to want him to be reformed and stuff. So we count until the friendship is established and is still in use. I do like the inclusion of Discord, my boy. He finally gets his metaphorical throne after all. We then get our last song, where we get some Easter eggs from the past. Can you spot them all? Sunset Shimmerer is there, which I guess confirms that she was canon after all.
Quiet material!
Then we end the book. That's it. End scene. I wasn't sure just how to end this. It's been a ride, so I thought I'd tell you guys how this all made me feel. It's not a secret that I have high hopes of networking with John Delancey, and that's been mostly fulfilling. I mean, you have to remember that from his perspective, he's probably like, who is this child? I was never in Kim Possible. As well as him being isolated from social media makes things take much, much longer than they need to. I think it was pretty convenient that he was going to most conventions that I was going towards anyway, and I really didn't want to overwhelm him or con-stalk him. But over the years, he's slowly started to remember me on site, get used to the KP jokes people read, which makes my heart hurt in a good way, and make funny faces at me. You know, the important stuff. I can tell when I'm around that he's happy to see me, and that makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. My hope is that I would move to LA and get to babysit his dog, and he'd be this cool Obi-Wan-like figure, but social relationships are more complicated than that. I'm basically still working on the lather. John, adopt me. If you're planning to see John at a convention in the future, I would appreciate you being like, I love you, and I love KP, and KP makes videos that save me from my crippling depression, and she is cool. Do you guys keep in touch? Can you sign this poster of you and KP on it? Please tweet to me about it. The more he's reminded, the more it's fresh on his mind, so hopefully that will help. But on a more personal note, a few weeks ago I heard that a high school friend had recently had a baby, and I reflected on it. My friend had been so ambitious in her youth, been involved in several after-school activities, and worked very hard the year of her graduation to attend an expensive school in Manhattan in order to pursue her dreams to become a successful politician. But those dreams fell short, and instead she chose to follow in the steps of her parents and choose a safe and suburban life. I always fear that I'll be that person, forced to give up all those dreams that I hold so dear out of defeat. I always feel like I'm not going to be good enough, not strong enough, smart enough to get where I want to be. And looking back, I am where I want to be. Because of this. Because of you guys, I'm able to do what I love and produce animations for people that are passionate about them as I am. I can talk about great ways that movies, film, and storytelling change and impact us to people that will listen. Because of this, I've gotten to speak all over the country to people, hoping that I'll point them in the right direction in their artistic journeys. Although it's caused me a lot of pain, it's also brought me to a place I never really dreamed of. Thank you so much for being part of the journey so far, and I hope you'll be a part of my next chapter. Fluttershy Discord had the whole night to bond. Just bond with the perverts. And then come those puppy dog eyes. You're so adorable. It's kind of like you, and not like so. Anyway.
If they asked you, would you do a singing role for Discord?
Just remember that you asked.
I mean, babies big fan, alright? Okay, good. You see, after Discord was performed, I wanted more beautiful, amazing adventures with Fluttershy for reasons. Hi there. I was gonna teach you about Discord's anatomy, but I can't sing. But one other thing that bothered me. Where the fuck is Discord? And then he's here. Oh my. Wait. We need some good music for this. Oh my god, it's even more beautiful than I imagined! Yes! Yes! They fixed it! They fixed everything! Ugh! I'm talking about Discord having a balance between its chaotic and reform side.
You and Fluttershy write each other letters?
Wait, they write letters to each other? My god, annuity! That's salvage! Oh, come on! Roll the clip.
Why the blue sky? Funny story. Not funny how, but it was a Tuesday.
And he's sick. Aww. What was I right about? Oh yeah, Discord. Cuz. If he turns evil again after that, God help us all. And oh my god, my ship gets a hit.
The last thing that I'll say without being too cliche, John will help throw you out at the end of any day. And he challenges expectations in an awesome way by partaking in our fandom, which has surely sent him gray.
Shippers everywhere flocked and spammed, and then this was the answer the world waited for.
Pretty sorry for how he behaved in that season finale, so I think he's just being it's more a display of apology.
How disappointing.
Before finale where Discord gives Celeste flowers, right? The way Discord looks at her. Because when I give someone an apology, I stare at them like I have a schoolgirl crush. But to review. Oh, fine. I mean, Discord and stuff. There seems to be some sort of idea that I don't like Fluttercore and that people thought I would do this episode. I wonder how you thought that. Hold on. Let me get my crown. Can someone give the Discord princess her crown? Okay, thanks. I'm here, Kim Possibleot, your Discord extraordinaire person on the internet. Here to meet your Discord needs and tell you what I think about everything Discord related ever. KP, what do you think about this Discord episode? It's alright. KP, what about this Discord toy? Fits the need. KP, what about the Discord voice guy? He's cool, dog. He's cool. He still needs to watch my video, but you know. So one of the bigger questions circa Season 3 is if Discord should have been reformed at all. And at the time, it didn't really make much sense.
Makes sense? Oh, what fun is there in making sense?
Did I mention that Discord will be there?
Really? Thank you. Whew, it was just a dream, thank goodness.
Pardon me, but I think it's time that I got a try at these.
That didn't hurt, like, at all. I mean, Discord did spend a whole episode trying to prove to himself that Twilight actually liked him, and then I guess she didn't, but then I guess she did. Like, can we just figure it out one way or the other? It's all part of his thing where he doesn't want to feel rejected because he hates rejection, and he doesn't know who his friends really are because the writers can't fucking decide who his friends really are, except Fluttershy. And that's why he likes Fluttershy, and that's why he doesn't mind being emotionally vulnerable around Fluttershy, because Fluttershy